Hello, everyone, and welcome to Education on Air, going Google A till Z. And I'll just do this. Here I am. Hi, nice to see you. So, in this session, I'm really going to talk about how you take an organization with Bring Your Own Device and transform it into an organization where you use Chromebooks one-on-one. So I'm actually going back in time. I'm going back to 2011, and then I'm going to come to 2016. But I'm just going to go over to the presentation and talk more about who I am as well and where I am. So I'm going to just to share my screen. And before I do that, if you have any questions at all while I present, please, I have my phone and I'm going to look at it often and see if you ask any questions. And if you do, I'm going to stop the presentation and answer the questions, because I really like to answer the question while I'm speaking. So if you have any questions at all, I'll be looking at my phone and I will try to answer them as soon as possible. All right, so I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go to the presentation. Here we go. So going Google A till Z. Yeah. So I'm going to give you a short presentation of who I am. And then I'm also going to give you, the conclusion. So what has happened during these from 2011 to 2016 what has changed. I'm actually going to start with that. And then I'll talk about how we started in 2011, when we started using Google Apps for Education. And then I wanted to start to talk about Bring Your Own Device strategy 2013, why we changed our strategy. And then I'll show you some, I call this the oh dear, because when we started looking at our Bring Your Own Device strategy, we really saw that we needed to change it. And then we changed it in 2015 to one-on-one Chromebooks. And I want to tell you in the end what has happened. So who am I? I'm the head of teaching at Kornmod Realskole. My name is Søren Rasmussen. I have a bachelor in teaching, which I got in 2007. And then in 2007 till 14, I was a teacher with a special interest in using ICT, a media-based technology or technology in learning sessions. And then I also have a diploma in education, ICT. And from 2014 till 15, I worked as a consultant at Silkeborg Municipality, where I worked with schools and kindergartens in how to use technology with children. And then in 2015, I became the head of teaching at Kornmod Realskole, which is the school I'm the head of teaching for. So what did our school look like before Google? Well, we did really face problems with the students' devices because we had a Bring Your Own Device strategy. And I'm going to talk more about this in my presentation, but when we decided to use, Bring Your Own Device strategy, our students brought devices primarily for gaming, and they couldn't last, the battery couldn't last for a day at all. So we even said to our parents, well, we hope you buy, we had a normal computer. We said, we hope you buy this one, because this is just a standard computer. It's cheap. It has Windows and has all the programs we need for our school. You can order them at the school and we will purchase a large amount to give you a discount. But our students didn't really buy those computers. No, they went to their parents and said, oh, we need a computer for school. And instead of saying, we need it for this and this program, they said, well, we need it for this and this game. So we had a lot of computers in our classrooms, great gaming computers, but they couldn't last for a whole school day. So like like for a couple of hours, for a couple of lessons, they could function, but then they had no battery. So we had chargers everywhere in the schools. So 25% of our staff were afraid of falling because of the students' chargers in the classroom. So I'll show you pictures in a minute. And it took approximately 5 minutes each time before the students' devices had started and were ready to use in the lessons. Hi, EDU4B, EDU4BU. Welcome from Saudi Arabia. So that's and I have 2 questions. Hello, Krishnidara. Just looking at my phone. So we researched our classroom, and we also saw that it took 5 minutes each time before the students' devices would start up. So we needed to change. It took too long. So actually we changed our strategy and went to Chromebooks, and we started with 200 devices in grade 4, 5, 6, and 7. And next year we will become a fully one-to-one Chromebook school using only Google Apps for Education. And we really see that our students are more engaged. Our teachers use feedback all the time in Google Documents and Google Forms. Not Google Forms, but Google Math. And we have also become a lighthouse school for Google. So the big wins for this change from going to bring your own device to Google is that we have actually gained 300 more minutes of teaching, or 66 lessons saved annually because of Chromebooks reduced startup time. Because if the students use their own device 3 lessons a day in every grade, use 5 minutes per lesson, this will actually save us, when we switch to Chromebooks, this save us 66 lessons annually. And we also have moved from number 844 in a national school ranking survey measuring on students' learning outcome in school to number 88 nationwide. And we are the number 1 school in our municipality here in Silkeborg. So I just want to show you where we actually are, because where am I speaking from? So I will just change this. I hope you can see this. So the school is Cornwall Realskole, and it's a private school. And this is our homepage. And in here, well, it's in Danish. You can read more about the school. And I want to show you where we are. Oh, here we go. I just want to show you where we are. Sorry about that. I go to Google. And where am I speaking from? I'm speaking from, I'll show you. Here we go. Here we are. So I'm speaking from Denmark. And it's the middle of Jutland in Denmark. There's a small city. And I'll show you our school, because it's a nice picture. Here we go. Go to 3D. And zoom in a bit. Here we go. So this is the school. Go this way. Yeah. So this is the school. And I'll tell you more about the school. Well, it doesn't look like that now because it's winter. So this is actually a nice summer picture. But this is the school. This is the entrance for the school. And that's where I'm speaking now. And I'll just start my presentation again. Sorry. Here we go. So I'll just skip to the school. The school is an old school. It's a private school founded in the year 1900, and it was occupied by the Germans during World War II. Actually, a couple of years ago, when we changed the roof, we found a live hand grenade, an old German hand grenade. We have about 650 pupils, 65 teachers, 10 pedagogues, and 0 till 10th grade. So this is actually, I wanted to say something about this because this is underlying, this is what lies beneath the way we think about our school. And this lies beneath, this is also what guided us through the process from Bring Your Own Device to Chromebooks. Now, in Hamlet, Act 4, Scene 5, Ophelia says, "We know what we are, but know not what we may be or become." And I'm not really going to talk about this, but this is more an approach to teaching and to school development, also this project. Because the children who start in kindergarten, well, we don't know how the world is going to change. What kind of jobs are they going to have when they are finished, when they finish schools? We only know that several digital revolutions are going to change the world. Basically, I'm talking about 21st century skills. You know, what are we going to teach the children? Which skills are they going to have? So it's about collaboration, critical thinking, inductive approach to learning, study problems, and making hypotheses about the world. So we really want to learn our children to study the unstudied and collaborate and answer to problems they don't really have the answer for, but because we don't know the future. So, and this is also how we started this development, because we saw that more and more of our teachers were in need of collaborating online. So in 2011, we actually started with Google Apps for Education slowly, and I'll talk more about it. 2013, we had Bring Your Own Device strategy. 2015, we had the new Chromebook strategy. And 2016, we became the first Google school in Denmark, and we're pretty proud about that fact. So we really, in 2011, we really wanted to start small, creating a change like a ripple in the water. When you throw a stone in the water, you see the ripples in the water. So we wanted to start small, and so we wanted to have a simple entry point to using technology in the classroom, just for a small way to starting using technology in the classroom. And what we actually did was to introduce Google Drive and Google Documents for our teachers. Actually created this system back in 2011, where the teachers, we created, the managers, the leaders of the school, we created folders for each class. So this is actually, you see 2009, A, B, C, D. This is actually the year our pupil would start in school. So let's say this is a 0 grade or a 1st grade. And then we know they started in 2009. So they will keep, this is their name on Google Drive all the way to 9th grade. And in this folder, the teachers would have folders with their subject. Now this is German, now this is math, now this is religion, now this is history. So in these folders, the teachers could put their material in, and then could share with other teachers in the school, and then could share material with the pupils. Now this is how we started. But then we saw that some of the teachers really started, they they started to use Google Apps for Education in quite a smart way, because they started to use Google Documents in class back in 2011 with the students. So they started like making copies of an assignment, and the students started to collaborate, and some of the teachers started to give feedback on what the pupils did in class. And when we saw this, we thought, oh my God, this is great. This is simply fantastic. So we started to really, we saw potential in this. So we started making courses for the teachers in class. For the teachers, like when in the afternoon. So the teachers we could take some of the teachers' good idea and spread it out during the whole faculty, like good examples from a Danish class, good examples from a math class. Now, I really wanted to say here, in 2011, we didn't have a bring your own device strategy. We had some computers for 0 to 3rd grade. And then we had some computers for 4th to 10th grade, like they could borrow at school. And then we had like 2 rooms, like 2 computer rooms. So we actually had a problem here, because we saw that we started small, like we introduced Google Apps for Education, and more teachers started to use this, but we had a limit in our technology. We didn't have enough computers. So we had to do something else to expand how we use computers in class. So in 2013, we switched strategy, and we switched strategy so that we went to bring your own device strategy, so that we'd made sure that we had enough computers. So 0 to 4th grade, well, the school provided computers for them, and 5th to 10th grade, they had to bring their own device. And this was actually great, because we saw that more and more of our teachers, some use technology as a substitution, with no functional change. And well, some of the math programs you can do in books, they started using on computers, but more and more used technology in class, not as a direct substitute, but as a substitute with functional improvement, and started to redesign some of modify some of the way they were teaching, because their teaching was suddenly the pupils could change how with collaboration they could change the way the teacher set up the lesson. So they became a really big asset to how the lesson would, how you would think the lesson, didactic, when you talk about pedagogues, how to construct the lesson. So the teachers the pupils using the technology in Google Apps for Education would modify the way the teachers taught. But bring your own device strategy really had a downside. So it had an upside, because so I'm just looking at your question and see if you have any questions. I want to make sure you can hear me. So I'm looking at the phone right now. So just a second. I want to see if you have any questions for me. Just a sec, and then I'll begin. All right. So I'll keep on talking. So this is actually the downside of bring your own device strategy, because the upside was we had a one-on-one technology. Like we had a one-to-one solution. Everyone brought their own technology, their own devices, but they brought mostly gaming computers. And the gaming computers, they didn't have battery for a whole day. So when we went outside, when we wanted to change, we wanted to, in 2015, we looked at our bring your own device strategy just to make sure how does it work. And this was actually the site that met us in the classroom, cables everywhere. And we had some computers for 4th to 10th grade they could borrow if they had a breakdown. And every day, all of our computers were out in the classroom. We had so many breakdown on pupils' devices, so it was horrible. We made a survey amongst our teachers, and 25% of our teachers were actually afraid of tripping when we had the bring your own device strategy because of all the cables. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we actually said to our parents at the school and the pupils at the school, we want you to buy this computer. We had like a setup for a computer they could buy for a reasonable amount. It had all the standard programs. It was, it had all the Microsoft and what we used at that time. Even though we were beginning to use Google Apps for Education, we still were using Microsoft. But so we said, hey, buy this computer. This is good for school. But the children, our pupils, went home to their parents and said, no, I want this computer because I want to play League of Legends, or I want to play World of Warcraft. So they had the best gaming laptops. When you went to watch the pupils and their computers, they had great gaming laptops, but they just couldn't. The battery weren't great for a whole day. They couldn't last for a whole day, and we really had problem with viruses and adware. And that we faced problems. We have like national tests in Denmark where the students go through tests in 2nd, 4th, 6th, 8th grade. And we saw breakdowns because when they were sitting at the national test with their own devices, they had a lot of adware and virus, so the computers actually break down. And more of our final exams in school are online. So we were nervous about what's going to happen at the final exam in 9th and 10th grade. And then we also saw that more and more the pupils' computers, devices were a status symbol. So we wanted our pupils to bring their own device, but we also put them in a situation where they were, where pupils brought really nice Macs, great gaming computers, and then we had pupils with really bad computers, and they used it as a status. It was a status symbol, and we actually thought, well, this is our fault. We brought them in a situation where, well, they can't afford to bring great devices, and some have a lot of money. They bring the best computers. So we really wanted to do something about that as well. And then we observed how long it took to start computers. So as I mentioned earlier, it took about 5 minutes per class before the computers were ready for the lessons. And if the students used computers in 3 lessons per day, that would take away 3,000 minutes or 66 lessons of teaching. So we really wanted to do something about this. So that meant if we changed devices for Chromebooks, because we already use Google Apps for Education a lot, then we could have 66 lessons more annually for teaching. So then we went the Google way. In 2016, we presented Chromebooks for our teacher lounge. We had courses for the teachers, the math teachers, the language teachers, the special teachers, and we saw that Chromebooks were were really they were used. Our teachers since 2011 were used to using Google Apps for Education. This is really easy, and the startup is it takes about 10 seconds, and you're online, and the kids love them. They're really proud. We get a lot of feedback for our pupils. We get a lot of positive feedback from our teachers, and we get a lot of positive feedback for our parents. So in 2016, we brought Chromebooks 4th, 6th, and 7th grade. And in 2017, we will have a one-on-one Chromebook school. So 650 pupils. So our key factors for success is we want to be online in 5 seconds. The 5-second start time allows students to start working right away, leaving no time for distractions. And we have an increased time for learning. We want to remove barriers, both, for the children, status barriers, but also for the children who are not good at handwriting. We want to have them. They want the same. We want our pupils to have the same start in our lesson. We wanted them to have the same device, no changes. They love the Chromebooks. They look pretty damn cool. They are proud about them. We see an increase in engagement. We see the Chromebook pushes the way they are used. They use technology and apps in lessons. And we want invisible technology. No more breakdowns. We just want them to work. So this is going to be my ending. Chromebooks and Google Apps for Education, they were the difference makers for us. But they won't bring about the change on their own. You need to make it simple for teachers to use the tools in the classroom. From there, it gets easier. So invisible technology. And this is just what I said before. Big wins before with Google's. We saved 66 lessons. We have 66 lessons more for teaching a year because of the reduced startup time. And this, we moved from a position in Denmark where from 844 to 88, we are the number 88 school in Denmark, and we are the number 1 in our municipality in Silkeborg. We give our students the most learning outcome in our school in the whole municipality, and number 88 in Denmark. So that was it. I'm going to so you can see me. Let me see, where is that? I'm going to, yeah, that was my half an hour. And I want to see if you have, oh yeah, I'm just going to look at your question. So Dandy, you asked me, what should we do if our students are making complaint regarding their exposure to computers? They sometimes feel dizzy and have headache facing computers. Yeah, well, even though we use, really good question, Dandy, and even though we use computers, we still see it as a tool. So it's really important that we don't use computers all the time. So it's used for a tool, like our children are outside as well, and they have drama, and they have a lot of other lessons. They are not, our pupils are not supposed to be in front of a screen all the time. And then there could be a special case, like if they have they have headaches, or what do you call it when you have severe headaches? Then we have those students as well, and we minimize their use of computers. So we have papers as well where they can work. Does that answer your question, Dandy De La Cruz? I hope so. Yeah, and Holy Hunt, you already answered. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah. Any more questions? I think I only have 1 minute left. So maybe I should round. I just want to say thank you for listening to me. It's been a pleasure. I really think this is so excited to talking to you online. And we really want to share all of our knowledge about changing an organization from bring your own device to Chromebook and a Chromebook organization, and we really have a lot of knowledge about how to change a teacher's, how to change the view on technology for teachers and pupils. So you will feel free to mail me or to post questions to me in Google Plus, everywhere. I really would like to get in contact with you, because we think we made a really successful transgression. I hope it's that name, when you go from one organization to another. Transition, I think the word is. So it's been a pleasure. And I think I'm supposed to stop now. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Here in Denmark, the weather is great, so I want to go outside. I'll look at see if there will be any questions, and then I'll answer them. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Bye.